We shall treat this session as a tutorial for effectiveness NTU method. Please pause this video here and go through the question and list out what are the given quantities. Upon inspection, it may be noted that for oil, the hot fluid, the mass flow rate is given, the inlet temperature is given, and the specific heat of the oil is given. While for the cold fluid, which happens to be air in this case, the mass flow rate is given, the inlet as well as the exit temperatures are given. Though not explicitly stated, the specific heat of air is to be taken as Cp of air, which is 1.009 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. Now from the given quantities, it is quite obvious that effectiveness NTU method is not the only one method that you can use here. Even the LMTD method may be employed in this case, since the exit temperature of oil may also be found out using the energy balance, but we'll stick on with the effectiveness NTU method for the purpose of illustration. The first step in solving this problem is to apply the energy balance. The heat lost by oil is going to be the heat gained by air. Therefore, mc delta T for oil shall be equal to mc delta T for air. Now the point to be noted here is that the delta T that is taken in these equations is the absolute change in temperature. So it is going to be the highest temperature of the fluid minus the lowest temperature of the fluid. When the values given are plugged in, you can finally evaluate that the exit oil temperature is going to be equal to 80.78 degrees Celsius. The next step is to identify which of these is the minimum fluid. This has to be done by comparing the respective values of their heat capacity rates, capital C, and capital C is the product of mass times the specific heat. Here for oil, CO is MO times CO, which is 3 times 2100, so that is 6300 watts per Kelvin. Now for air, the same calculation yields 2018 watts per Kelvin as the heat capacity rate. So comparing these two values, it is obvious that the minimum fluid is air, and therefore we shall take C minimum as Ca and C max as Co. Now with these facts established, we will now try to find out what is the NTU value for this heat exchanger. From the equation available in your data book, N is as given in this equation, where the ratio C is equal to C minimum divided by C max, and from the values it is going to have 0.3203 as its value. Now this is one place that is prone to errors from your side. So please be very careful when you calculate the effectiveness. Effectiveness as defined is equal to the change in temperature of the minimum fluid, which in this case is air, divided by the maximum possible temperature difference. 80 minus 20 is the temperature change of the cold fluid, that is air. The inlet temperature is 20 and the exit temperature of air is 80. So 80 minus 20 is the delta T of the minimum fluid. Now how do you find out delta T max? It is the temperature difference between the inlet of the hot fluid and the inlet of the cold fluid. 100 is the temperature at which hot oil enters the heat exchanger. 20 is the temperature at which cold air enters the temperature. So the maximum temperature difference that exists inside the heat exchanger is 100 minus 20. So effectiveness is this value. So what you have to do next is to plug in these values into the effectiveness equation, and you will obtain a value of 1.99 for the NTU. The value of NTU known, and from the definition of NTU is defined as UA divided by C minimum. The C minimum value is known, U values given, NTU values now obtained. So from this you can estimate A as NTU C minimum divided by U. So that happens to be 20.09 meter square. Now let's move on to question number 2 of this tutorial session. This shall be a question regarding a heat exchanger with phase change. This particular case being that of a condenser. There are certain things that you must be careful about in the analysis of a heat exchanger employed as a condenser or a boiler. Please pause the video here and take down what are the given values. The question may be summarized as follows. The hot fluid is condensing ammonia. The temperature is 50 degrees Celsius, while the cold fluid is water with an inlet temperature of 20 degrees Celsius and exit temperature of 40 degrees Celsius. The effectiveness of the heat exchanger is specified as 0.6. Heat transfer rate is 200 kilowatts. The overall heat transfer coefficient is 1000 watts per meter square. You're asked to find out what is area that is required by the heat exchanger. In certain questions of this type, if the value of the overall heat transfer coefficient capital U is not given, you have the provision of taking first estimates of these values from your data book. Before we solve this problem, there is one thing that you must be reminded of. For the sake of the analysis, let us write the heat transfer rate Q equals the given value, that is 200 kilowatts, equals the mass flow rate of ammonia times the specific heat of ammonia times the delta T of the ammonia. It is also equivalent to the mass flow rate times specific heat of water times the delta T for water. Now this product of M times the specific heat is what we have called as a heat capacity rate, capital C. So this will be the capital C for ammonia and this will be capital C for water. Ammonia is condensing, so which means delta T is going to be 0 because for phase change process the change in temperature is 0. If you have to equate this to this, it should have an infinite value. Therefore, C of ammonia is going to be infinity, while heat capacity rate of water is going to be C minimum. So this is a case for any heat exchanger with a phase change process. The fluid that changes phase shall be the maximum fluid and the other fluid shall be the minimum fluid. So using this relation for heat transfer rate, you can calculate heat capacity rate of water, which happens to be our C minimum as displayed in this sheet. Now we also know that for any type of heat exchanger that involves a phase change process, the NTU is a function of effectiveness in this form. Effectiveness is already given as 60%. So plugging in the value of effectiveness in this equation, you get the value of NTU as 0.916, and by definition NTU is UA divided by C minimum. U is given, C minimum has been obtained. Now therefore, with this value of NTU, area is calculated as 9.16 meters square. Moving to the second part of the question, we are asked to determine what happens to the heat transfer rate if the mass flow rate of water, the minimum fluid, is halved for the same given values of U and calculated value of A. So when the mass flow rate of water is halved, the heat capacity rate of water is also halved. So previously it was 10 into 10 to the power 3. So now it would be 10 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 2. So recalculating the NTU, NTU equals UA divided by C minimum. U remains the same, A remains the same as given in the question. And plug in this value of C minimum here. You get the new value of NTU, which is simply the double of our previous value. So the point is, when the mass flow rate is halved, the NTU becomes double. From the data book, we already knew this equation, that NTU equals minus ln 1 minus effectiveness. So writing in the exponential form, effectiveness equals 1 minus e raised to minus NTU. Now plugging in the value of the new value of NTU here, the new effectiveness is going to be 0.84. This has to be compared with the previous value of effectiveness, which was 0.6. So the effect of reducing mass flow rate by half has increased the effectiveness from 0.6 to 0.84. Again, from the definition of effectiveness, effectiveness equals the delta T of the minimum fluid divided by the maximum delta T in the heat exchanger. The new effectiveness is 0.84. Maximum temperature difference is 50 minus 20, which is not changed. So using this equation, the new delta T for water is 25.2 degrees Celsius. Now plugging in this value into the heat transfer rate equation, Q equals C minimum delta T of water, and the C minimum now is 10 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 2 multiplied by the new temperature difference of water, that is 25.2. The new heat transfer rate is 126 kilowatts. You may compare it with the previous values. Delta T of water in the first case was 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius was the inlet temperature of water. 40 degrees Celsius was the outlet temperature of water. So the delta T previously was 20 degrees Celsius, which now is 25 degrees Celsius. And heat transfer rate previously was 200 kilowatts, which is now 126 kilowatts. So reducing the mass flow rate has reduced the heat transfer rate from 200 to 126 kilowatts, roughly 37% of a decrease. There is more to this problem than that meets a plain eye, and I highly encourage you to revisit this problem and verify these results. Now let's go to the solution of the assignment problem. All of you had to solve a variant of this particular question. Now let's list what are the given quantities. Overall heat transfer coefficient is given. The total area of heat transfer is given. Now this is one place where you can make a mistake. What is given is hot fluid heat capacity rate. This heat capacity rate is capital C, which is the product of mass flow rate times the specific heat C. It is not to be confused with specific heat. Verifying the units would be a good practice in order to avoid this confusion. The heat capacity rate of the hot fluid is given, for the cold fluid is given. The inlet temperatures of both the fluids are given as 80 and 20 degrees Celsius respectively. You are asked to find out what is the exit temperature of the cold fluid and what is the heat transfer rate. By comparing the values of CH and CC, you can see that C minimum is equal to CH. So C minimum takes a value of 40,000 watts per Kelvin. So we have identified the hot fluid to be the minimum fluid. Now using the definition of NTU equals UA divided by C minimum, you can calculate that the NTU is 2 units. You can refer to the data book for the following relation of epsilon in terms of NTU. Your data book contains two sets of equations for the heat exchangers. One is of the form the effectiveness as a function of NTU, and the second set of equations are in the form NTU as a function of epsilon. In this case, NTU is known from our previous calculation, and you would wish to find out what is the value of epsilon, the effectiveness. Therefore, you would choose from the first set of equations, and for the given conditions of cross flow heat exchanger with both the fluids being unmixed, this would be the most appropriate equation. In this equation, this capital C is a ratio of C minimum divided by C max, and from the given values it is going to be 0.5, and NTU from the previous calculation we have calculated it to be 2, and the small n as given in the data book is NTU raised to minus 0.22. So substituting all these values into the equation, you would finally arrive at an effectiveness of 0.738. From the definition of effectiveness is the ratio of Q actual to Q max. Q max may be written as C minimum multiplied by delta T max. We have calculated effectiveness to be 0.738. Q actual is yet to be known. And from the given values, C minimum is 40,000 and maximum temperature difference is the difference in temperature between the inlet hot fluid and the inlet cold fluid, both of which are given as 80 and 20 respectively. So using this, you can calculate Q actual to be 1773 kilowatts. Now using Q equals MC Cc delta Tc, you can substitute and find out what is the value of TCE.